students? So see students, now I'll start with this particular chapter number 9 in the textbook. That is packages and interfaces. This is also very important. And see students, interfaces will be the advanced version of abstract class. Okay, that time. So try to remember the concept of abstract class. What is the abstract class? Which will have abstract keyword with the name, and it will have an abstract method. Apart from that, that is as having abstract method, it can have concrete method also. Who abstract class. So whereas in interface, it will only have abstract method. It will not have concrete method. So that is what is an interface. So we will see afterwards in detail. So you try to remember this point. Okay, now. So we'll start with the packages. So in simple words, what is the packages? Collection of class files. Okay. Try to remember packages are nothing but they are collection of classes, or they will have the class files in it. Like you can see over here, packages are containers for classes. Okay, so they are used to keep class namespace compartmentalized. Okay, like you can have an example, that is a package allows you to create a class name list. What it can have, which you can store in your own package without concern that it will collide with some other class name list stored elsewhere. Okay, this I will explain, don't worry, you try to remember. Packages are container for classes. They are used to keep the class name space compartmentalized. Okay, now straight away I will explain with the program. It will be easy for you to understand. Okay, this I will explain with the program. After explaining the program, I will explain these points, this example, this example. Okay, what is that statement? What is this statement? What is this statement? Okay, finding packages and class path, this we will see. Okay, so what I did is I have already executed this program. So what is the name you see? Account balance now. I will open the program. Account balance. Packages, it is in packages. Okay. Here it is. Just a minute. See here, students. As I said, package is nothing but collection of classes. This point you have to see over here. With the help of this program, I will explain about this particular point also. There are two classes, balance and account balance as main class. What I did is I have copied already in my computer. You can see here the notepad. Okay. So you can see at line number 3 to line number 15, there is the class balance, and after that there is another class account balance at line number 16 to line number 24. Okay, you can understand this concept is very simple. This concept, this is an object array over here. Okay, the size is 3. Okay, so 3 objects at position 0, 1, 2. Okay, all of them will be assigned with different names. Current 0, 1, 2. Names are Fielding, Tell, Jackson, with the balance as 123.23, 159.02, and minus 12.33. That's it. Okay, and after that, the for loop is implemented. You see, for loop is having this code for 3 times with the values of 0 till 2, that is 0, 1, 2. It will call this method. Okay, this is the old concept. We all know this. Okay, but what is the package? You have to see, and how the execution is. Okay, this is little bit different than what you have seen till now. Okay, so you have to do something over here. What you have to do is, see here in my computer, I have saved my file. You can see here the mouse where I'm rotating, account balance.java. The notepad is here. Okay, in these are many folders. In that I've saved this one, account balance.java, and over here this is my pack folder. Here it is account balance.java file. This is my pack folder. Now what I'll do is, you all see here, I'm going to compile here. I will write the command java c space account balance.java. After I compile, you people know, after it is compiled, what will the compiler will do? If it is without error, it will generate class files. Means there are two classes, means two class files you can see over here with the name as balance.class and account.balance. So I will press enter. I will press enter here in the command prompt. You observe here in the background. As you can see, there's account balance.class generated here and balance.class. Now the thing is, you have to remember, as the second line is mentioned over here with the keyword package, and the name as user defined name is mypack. So what actually this is this statement, what the statement mentions is to the compiler, that is, this is one kind of a command. What kind of a command is, that is, these two dot class files, this one and this one, okay, should be available in this folder, okay, should be available. Now what I will do is, you just see here, I'm clicking on this mypack, I'm pressing enter, it is empty. So what you have to do is, you have to place them. So what I'll do is, I will drag and I will drop it here in mypack. Similarly, balance.java, I will drag and I will drop it here. So now I'm clicking mypack. You all see here, there are two dot class files which we have done as drag and drop. That is done. Now, you all observe with the output, how to execute is, if you try to execute with the old way, that is what Java space account balance. So what it is giving, could not find or load main class, means there is no dot class file of account balance. Okay, from dot class file only you will see the output. So as you can see, there is no dot class file here, but where it is available in mypack folder. So when you are dealing with the concept of packages, so how you have to find the class path is, this is the way, that is, you have to give the folder name as it is with dot class name. So all you all can observe here. Okay, what I'll do is, I will press enter now. You all please observe. Got the output. This is the output. Okay, so try to remember how to execute the package program is, if you have compiled, if your program is consisting of this kind of a statement. Okay, wherever you want to compile it, you compile it. Okay, as we have compiled it, and we just now saw over here two dot class files were generated, but during the runtime, what you have to make assurance is that whatever the dot class files were generated, they should be available in mypack. So you have to drag and drop it, and you execute the program in this way. So what will happen actually is, the JVM will find the path. It will find the path in this way. Means it will execute this. How it will execute, by moving into this one folder. In this folder, it will be able to find this and it will evaluate this one. I hope you all have understood this. Now, as we have seen the execution, now you see here the theory point. Same thing. Call this file account balance.java and put it in a directory called mypack also. Over there also you can execute. Okay, you can execute by keeping your account balance.java file. Means I kept outside. No, you can keep this over here also in mypack. It is not a problem, but you should try to remember that the class files should be, at least they should be over here in mypack folder, and you should execute from outside the mypack folder. You should not execute from inside the mypack folder. You should execute in this path, with this path. And what command you should give? You should give this command. Okay, I hope you all have understood this. Okay, so you can observe here, he's mentioning this point. Okay, you will get the output like this. Suppose if you execute this, no, it won't be executed. It will give you an error, like it has given over here. Could not find load main class account balance, like that. Okay, students, this was the basic program of packages, how to execute. Next concept is access protection. Okay, so students, see here, try to remember, if you want to draw this particular diagram in a paper, you draw it right now, but because I will be explaining with this diagram only. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. What you have to do is you draw the diagram now, roughly, because this topic is nothing but the explanation of this diagram with this little bit big program. I will explain you how to execute, where to keep the files, all those things. But for right now, what you do is I'll give you 1 minute. You'll draw this diagram now. See here, students, access protection. Okay, we will see over here now the concept of this. Okay, try to remember, as you all might be knowing, how many access specifiers you have seen in your languages like C++, you have learned, like private, protected, and public. Apart from that, there is one more access specifier in Java, that is a default access specifier, or you can say no modifier also. Another name for it is no modifier. So a total of 4 access specifiers are available in Java: private, no modifier, you can say as default access specifier also, then protected, then public. Okay. So as you all know, any variable or a method declared as private in a class, so that cannot be accessed by child classes or any other classes outside. So that is a private access specifier. Like you can see over here, this is a class protection which is declared as public. So you can see over here, there are 4 variables. Okay, the first variable is default access specifier n, which is no modifier. The others are with different access specifier. N price a variable with private, N pro with the access specifier protected, N pub with access specifier as public. So now we have to see who can access which variables and who cannot access which variables from class protection. That is the explanation for now under this topic, access protection, that you are going to see. Okay then. So see students, what I did is write down, afterwards what you all do is execute the program, name this particular file as protection.java, and remember this dot class should be in P1 folder. Okay, then this one derived.java, this particular program which is a child class to protection. Similarly, this is a same package program, but it is not a child class. So save it as same package.java. So what I did is, you all please observe, in my P1 folder, I have copied all the programs from the textbook and I have saved them here as .java in P1 folder. Okay, then after that, there is another class protection2, which is extending protection again, protection, the above protection. But you see here, it is extending and it is not in P1 folder, it is in some other folder, P2. So it should inherit in this way, P1.protection. Okay, I hope you have understood this. And see, I will show you. Protection2 is in P2 folder here. Okay, then there is another program, other package, which is not a child class. This one also in P2 folder I have saved. You can see here with .java. Then after that, there are 2 main classes. One is demo. Okay, I named it as demo1 in my computer here, and the other main class, that is demo2.java. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will execute the program. Okay, and I will show you the output also, and you have to observe it here. So what to do is compile the program first. Okay, sorry. Clear it. .java. It is compiled, and now you can see there is one dot class file generated, and you all observe in P1 folder also. See, all the dot class files have been generated. Why? Because you see here in this program, in this particular demo one, OB1, OB2, OB3 are the objects of what? The classes protection one, derived, and same package, which are available in P1 folder. This one. Okay. I will open this. Okay, you can see here clearly. OB1, OB2, OB3 are the objects of the classes which are available in P1. Okay, so due to this, if you are compiling only demo one program, it is able to compile the class .java files which are available in P1 folder also, as you have seen just now. Now what to do is, to see the output, as I mentioned, all the class files should be available in P1 folder. So for right now, what to do is, how to execute, I said, you have to give the folder name also. So you just give p1.demo1. See, cannot load or main class p1.demo1 means demo1.java's demo1.class file is here. Even this should also be available in that one, in that folder. Why? Because it is under p1 folder, demo1 also. So what to do is just drag and drop it. That's it. So this is done, students. Now you all please see here. Run the program now. Why? Because I have dragged and dropped. See, demo1.class file in this p1 folder. Now you just observe the output. See, it is giving the output. Now we will see it with the table now. Who have accessed, who have not accessed. See here, first of all, protection OB1. I will open that .java file, or else I will open that .java file. We cannot open .class file now. I will open the .java file. Now you all please observe here. See, so this statement that I will provide the line numbers also, don't worry. Line numbers. Now see this. As this line number 6 has called, see the constructor is there. This protection constructor. It will invoke the constructor of the class protections. From here it will call this. Okay, and now you observe here the table. Now we are into this part. The 7th line we are here. Now you all can observe. See the output. This particular output is here. Okay, so all the variables have been accessed by the constructor from which class? Demo1 class by protection. Okay, even though n is private, so the constructor of this class can access, no? It can access. Okay. Okay, this one is done. Now we will see with the other class. You see, observe here. The other class is this one, derived, OB2. So I will open that one, derived.java. So derived.java, you all see here, as derive is a child of protection. So what do you mean? What is the meaning of this one is, derive extends protection means again the constructor of protection will be called. Okay, as you can see here. as you can see here, this one. This is done. This is not that much important. The main thing is when the constructor of derive is called, where is the class? Yeah, this one. This. Okay. So you can observe here. You can observe here with the table to this output. Please observe. In the table, what it is mentioning is, you see here, same package, but subclass. You see here, derive is a subclass of protection, and as protection is in P1 folder, derive is also in P1 folder. So this is a subclass, but same package. So that is why this is the thing, same package subclass. Now this derive class cannot access private member of protection. So you can see here, this particular line is commented. If you remove this comment now and you try to run and execute, you will get an error. Why you will get an error? Because this is a private variable. Npri is private to protection, so which cannot be accessed in this derive class. Okay. Apart from that, the derive class, which is a child class to protection, and also it is available in same package, can access every variable except private. Okay, this is done, students. Now the next thing is, we will see with the next program, that is in the main class, this demo1.java. See here, ob3, it is going to call ob3. So ob3 means it is going to call the constructor of same package. So I will open that same package.java. Minimize this. So observe here. Just a second. Yeah. So now we are into, means from main class, that is from line number 8. That is from line number 8, it will call the constructor of same package. So where is same package? Here. Now in same package, you can see, I will provide the line numbers also. Now you all observe.